In Common Cause, we're talking with Bob Edgar. He's the president and CEO of Common Cause. CommonCause.org, of course, is the website. Common Cause has been working on, you guys work on all kinds. It's amazing, your portfolio.
We're thriving right now on corruption and bad Supreme Court decisions.
Yes.
We'd actually like to thrive less.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that you've been working on lately, and I don't know if this is something that you want to get into right now or not, and if not, feel just say so, but we thought we had a chance to have the filibuster reformed, and to the best of my knowledge, there still is a chance, and the only chance that there still is out there is you guys with a lawsuit. Do I have that right?
No, that's right. We need one of the senators who are angry about the mini step that was taken last week. Mm-hmm. We used the word capitulation. We think Harry Reid capitulated on the reforms of the filibuster.
Well, Mitch McConnell sent out an email that day saying we beat the liberals.
Right.
So
I think most Americans don't have a clue how the filibuster has actually damaged democracy. It wasn't in the Constitution, was invented by Aaron Burr, wasn't named a filibuster till 50 years later, was used up till 1970 to protect slavery and lynching laws more than it was used for human rights or civil rights. When Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, the movie in 1939, got nominated for an Academy Award, there were 0 filibusters that year. And the guys and men and women who are calling the filibusters represent only 14% of the total population of the United States. And yet they blocked disclosure legislation. The DREAM Act was blocked. People don't remember that Medicare, which everybody likes, including some of the Tea Party conservatives, only passed by 55 votes in 1965. So the filibuster, if good legislative agenda issues come forward, gets stymied. And what Senator Reid agreed to with a handshake, a wink, and a nod last week is not only pretty small. I think you're going to see within not too distant future the ultra-conservatives using the filibuster to block gun legislation, to reform the gun laws. You're going to see them block issues relating to the debt and the deficit. And even in health care, which is the subject of this particular conference, health care would have been much stronger, much more appropriate.
We'd have a public option if it were.
We would have had a
filibuster.
public option, and that would have been much better. In fact, I don't think that the health care law would have gone to the Supreme Court had it been by majority rule. But because they needed 60 votes, they kept stopping good filibuster conversation at the front end, never had it debated on the floor of the Senate until they got 60 votes on a lukewarm, watered-down version. Now, it's the best health care law that we could get given the brokenness of Congress. We need to implement it now, and I hope that the conservatives recognize that one of the lessons of the last election is that Obama won, that the health care is not going to die. You're not going to find enough votes either in the Senate or the House to completely kill it. President's not going to allow the losing of the current law. So let's work together. Let's try to improve it. Let's fix it. Let's teach people how in October 2013 they can sign up for it. It's time to move forward. Social Security works. Medicare works. The new health care law must work. And we need to recognize that health care is a right.
Yeah, and in fact, we're the only developed country in the world that doesn't literally call it a right. We call it a privilege.
That's exactly right.
We're talking with Bob Edgar. CommonCause.org is the website. I'm curious, you mentioned, we had this election, President Obama won. The fact of the matter is that the American people fairly overwhelmingly voted to keep Democrats in charge of the Senate, Democrats in charge of the White House, and they actually, by 1.5 million to 2 million vote majority, voted to have Democrats in charge of the House of Representatives. And yet, at this moment, the Republicans control the House of Representatives because of the way that they rigged the game. And now they're talking about rigging the Electoral College so that next time around, not only will they control the House with having lost, but still they won, but they can control the White House. Yeah. Is this part of the Common Cause portfolio?
Absolutely. You may be surprised to know that Common Cause was responsible in California for taking away the ability of the state legislature to draw those districts, and we set up a commission in California, a citizens commission. They drew the lines. This is the first election that voters got to pick their legislators rather than legislators picking their voters.
Right.
We hope that redistricting reform will spread. We're going to work on that.
Is California the only state that does that?
No, there are a couple states. Iowa is actually the good example of how to redistrict, and there are a couple others that have done it well. Florida is the poster child for how to get it wrong, and we're working with Fair Districts Florida to try to spread that good citizen virus to get a citizen commission. In Florida, the incumbents draw the lines. Very few incumbents ever lose an election because they rig the election for both the Democrats and Republicans. On the issue of the conservatives now moving state by state to change the Electoral College, Common Cause for some time has been for the national popular vote, which is an effort to get an interstate compact, and when enough states agree to it and have 271 electors, then the person who wins the national presidential vote will in fact be the president that's installed.
It kills the Electoral College without amending the Constitution.
That's exactly right. And we think that these efforts that we saw a week or so ago spring up in Virginia, it's now springing up a couple other places. The good news about that is that there are some conservative Republicans who have resisted and pushed back and said they won't support the change. We want to be vigilant and keep watch. We don't think it's going to be a spread across the country, and we hope that people who want to really reform the Electoral College will take a look at the national popular vote as the way to do it.
They have 4 years, and I'm from Michigan. I pay attention to what's going on there, and Rick Snyder, the governor, came right out and said in a public forum, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He was opposed to Right for Work for Less legislation. He would fight it. He would prevent it from happening. And less than 80 or 90 days later, he's signing the bill.
But I think it's important for us to be vigilant and watch for this. But let me just make one. I happen to be a strong optimist. All of the ultra-conservative efforts through ALEC and through other things to have voter ID laws, to restrict voting, that got pushed back largely by the courts, but also were in the press over the last couple of years. I think it encouraged senior citizens, young adults, persons of color to come out and vote last November. So I think conservatives ought to be pretty careful about what they're up to, because they may just make voters mad enough that they come back and not only push back on these outrageous decisions, but I think it's going to be hard for particularly the Republican Party to reclaim its core values.
Yeah, and it seems like for the first time in a long time, the press is actually talking about these things. So, Bob, Edgar, Common Cause, commoncause.org is the website. Be sure and check it out, and we'll be back. Thank you, Bob.
Take care.
Great having you with us.